Joining me is the political panel, Cameron Milner, former Chief of Staff to Labor leader Bill Shorten, now Director of GXO Strategies, and Michael Costa, former New South Wales Labor Treasurer. Michael, Peter Dutton today again denied he had any inside knowledge before he bought those bank shares the day before Labor's bailout. The banks have been getting guarantees and everything beforehand. The record, the share price was a record low. So I made it a good investment. And Labor has offered no evidence to contradict him when he says he had no inside knowledge. Is this word good enough for you?
Oh, absolutely. This is ridiculous. And the story today was even worse. I mean, the fact that you can add up a guy's property transactions, and being that he doesn't even own those properties any longer, but total it up and say that you've got a $30 million property portfolio is just bizarre. I could do that to Albo right now. I mean, I could add the Dulwich Hill property he just sold for $2 million to the $4 million property he's got, plus the other $2 million, and we can probably, induce a rental value for the other two properties the government provides and say he's got a $10 million portfolio. It's just ridiculous, Andrew, but it smacks of desperation. Look, I didn't think we'd ever get to the point. I thought it was going to be a minority Labor government. Clearly their polling is showing that Dutton's doing much better than they thought, and he could actually get a minority government. That's the only explanation for this ridiculous attack. The papers ought to be condemned too, because that story should never have been published in the Sydney Morning Herald. The way it was structured, no. They're desperate. They are absolutely desperate.
Cameron, look, you've been in the war rooms figuring out how to run campaigns. That said, just occupied a bit of my show. I aired the allegations without any evidence. Appealed to the envy factor. All these houses. It's just incredible. Is it going to work?
Well, no, it's not, Andrew, and I agree with Michael Costa. This is desperation politics of the worst kind from Labor, who's clearly got nothing left to do in terms of saying anything positive about Albo, anything positive about their agenda. This is just mud and sludge. Fired up by, I might say, by Albo's close mate, a lobbyist called Eamon Fitzpatrick, who specialises in running dirt units. So Eamon Fitzpatrick is a lobbyist. You can look him up. Lots of pictures with Albo. So Albo should stop hiding behind Eamon and come clean. Stop letting a dirt unit muddy up Peter Dutton and actually have a square fight. No, this is desperation politics of the worst kind, Andrew, and it'll be seen by electors for what it is. And goodness knows, the Sydney Morning Herald used to be better than that, than some lazy journalist just regurgitating Labor's dirt unit lines.
But I just honestly can't see what the sin is in having built, bought and sold houses. I mean...
But he doesn't own them.
Gosh, what would you do if you locked up everyone who did that?
Exactly, Michael. Exactly.
Michael, the government's handling of these 3 Chinese ships, your reaction?
Oh, I think it's a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. And it shows that this government has been behind on defence and foreign affairs all through this last 3 years. I mean, their strategy to suck up to China for some short-term trade gain, and I'll reiterate the point I keep making when this comes up, China trades with us because it benefits it. It's not doing us a favour. If it didn't benefit China to trade with us, they'd go somewhere else. And that's the reality of it. The fact is that we're compromised. The fact that you've got to rely on a commercial airline to tell you that there's a Chinese flotilla floating off your coast and firing live ammunition, it shows that we have got no defence policy in this country. And really, this ought to be a central issue in the election campaign, and I think it will be. I think this will be damaging. If the opposition can get onto this in a more meaningful way and a more forceful way, I think this is an election issue of great proportion.
I find it interesting, Cameron, that it was a Virgin Airline pilot that warned what was going on. It wasn't an RWF jet. I mean, seriously. Well, is that what we're up to now?
It wasn't any of our
Dad's army.
Exactly. And there's none of our 6 Collins-class submarines were anywhere because they were all in dock as well. Now, look, I think this is much worse, because Albo's been weak on China. He's loved being called a handsome boy. He hasn't stood up to Beijing once. But now prima facie, he looks like he's lying on national security, lying about our national security. When an admiral in Senate testimony contradicts completely what the Prime Minister said, the Prime Minister's got a problem. The Prime Minister's got a problem on national security and telling the truth, just like he had a problem explaining how long it was that the AFP didn't bother briefing him on a terrorist caravan. I mean, this bloke is supposedly the Prime Minister of Australia, yet no one seems to want to brief him. And now it looks like he's lied about when he actually knew not only about the caravan, but also about the Chinese firing live armaments right on our coastline.
No, you're completely wrong, Cameron, because what you forget is that Peter Dutton bought and sold houses and made a bit of money off it. That is the big
exactly.
issue.
Sorry, that was the story of the day. That was the story of the day.
There you go.